I have so many videos to some European. Now there is a specific video for a European person who's calling himself a Jew. Now what is he saying? He's saying we are more close to Muslims than the so-called Christians. He's saying we are more close to Muslim than Christian because the Torah explain about this God, the creator of existence. Yes, there is a lot of manipulated and there is a lot of deceiving things that is making the so-called Israelite, who call themselves Israelis, though they are not consistent calling themselves Jews, who got nothing to do with their Judea faith. When we understand the big picture about it, the era of time and the reality of what the Israelis and the Goham Jews used to do from the time of Jacob until the Messiah, son of Virgin Mary. So he's saying, there is similarity between us and the Muslims. Okay, though he is worshipping a beast, a taghut, a wild beast, he have nothing to do with Allah, who announced himself in a certain level to be called Yahweh. No longer right now. It's illegal for you to call God by the word Yahweh. Just to study it, okay, and they know this now. This is even a debate within them, but it's a confirmed thing. Now, he is saying, we in Muslims, now look how he's looking at it. First, he considered the 22 state that call itself the so-called Arabic state. He considered an Ismailian state, though it is not. It's barbaric, Ashurian, Assyrian. Some of them are Kurds, some of them are Coptics, some of them are Amazigh. Got nothing. Some of them are originally from Europe, who got nothing to do whatsoever with the native Arab, except Gulf state and some parts of Iraq and parts of Sham as a whole. Sham, which is the area surrounding the Holy Land in Sinai. This is the natives. But he insists, because this is how they work. This is how the Satan, the devil, is manipulating the world through their lies. And they are part of the dark groups, and they are one dark group. Okay. He is saying, see, I do not want to go and add some points here and there, but it's a must. We need these points to understand the whole picture. So I'll do my best to short the points. I mean, أقلص حجم المدة. Now, he is saying, we the Jews, he has got nothing to do with the Israeli race. He is relating himself to the mountain Zion, calling himself a Zion or an Israeli, and he's insisting on calling himself a Jew. He is from Europe, this person. We can bring others like him from any other part of the world who got nothing to do with the Israeli race, and they are bringing the wrath of God on themselves and bringing the wrath of God to humanity through the so-called Zionist movement. I have explained about this. He is saying, though the Christians are relating themselves to cross and relating themselves to worshipping this person, a human being, or associating. So we have similarity between us and Muslims, except the so-called Christians are more happy to have us, to establish with us the so-called Israeli state. The so-called Christians are more supporting to us with the gay rights in the Holy Land, with the prostitution there, with the killing of children and babies in the Holy Land, and kicking the natives of the Holy Land, who among them real Israelis. So he's saying the so-called Christians are more helpful. They help in establishing the so-called, because they are European like him. But we go to the Muslim and we find the Muslims screaming and saying no, resisting us. Do you understand the point? Now this is not the point. The point is when he said, God have favored Israelis, and someone laughed from the audience. Go him like him. No, he didn't laugh. He said, yeah, ho, ho. You can hear it. And then he said, God have favored the the Israelis. Now, before they used to call themselves the European Jews, France Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, like Rothschild, Russian Jews, Polish Jews. I don't know which part of Europe he is from. Ashkenazi, Polish, Holland, France, whatever. Armenia, Marsilia, who are descended, some of them, of the slave that used to be brought to Europe. Got nothing to do with the Israelis or some groups who are gypsies, except they accept to call themselves Jews. This is the facts about them. Let them stop messing around. And what he's saying, this is not anger, this is not hate, this is facts about you, actual analysis. Now the case is, he is saying, now look, he said, they think the Muslims that God have preferred Ismail. No, he said it in something like this. I'm not saying it perfect. He said it in worse way. in a way of contradiction, in a way of deceiving, satanic deceiving way. And he said, please don't delete this video. He said, God I prefer you, I like you more. God preferred Israel. But those us Muslim and Arabs think that God preferred Ishmael. They start laughing. Someone from the audience. You can imagine that he have this hair which got nothing to do with the godly people, Israelite or none, or maybe with the hat of the Roman. Okay, I look handsome. Am I? Do I? Huh? Okay, and he's saying. Okay, and he's saying. God preferred Israel, but the Arabs think that God preferred Ishmael. Now, I don't know how to explain it in a perfect way. God have made Israel through his descendant to the Messiah, son of Virgin. I don't want to go to details. Favored to be the word through them, generational messengers and prophets, in the reason of healing the world, providing the ground of excuse, collecting. يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله. Allah, God doesn't want so that the Israelite, the real Israelites, would help in telling people about the light of God in their souls. So they had this obligation, responsibility. God brought them to the Holy Land. It's the center of the world. Okay. God sent the messenger, the Messiah, based on to fulfill a promise. In the first adjustment, he asks the signs of acceptance. They didn't. He shall return back at the second adjustment, and there will be signs of miracles to force him on the darkness that will take place. And they are helping the so-called Israelis with the so-called Christian. He does not understand. They do not understand why God asked the Israelite or made this task. The task is on all, but the Israelite preaching by the inspiration. I made a big problem. Whispering or inspiration by God. So he inspired the messengers to go and explain to people. And at that area, the Yahweh is the God through the Israelite. My faith is the Yahweh, and there is other word of submission to Him. What's your faith? I'm submitted to the Lord of universes, to the Lord of existence, the Lord of everything, Allah, the Creator of existence, who created everything. Everything is explained. And I am a Yahwehan, and my Yahwehan as a Gohem, them before them, the African, the Roman. Allah يلعنك. ايش هذه الأصوات؟ يعني أعوذ بالله، حتى يوم كنت في الشرقية بقولها، السود بالدبابات بالشرقية، إزعاج. الله يزعجكم بالأجارات. حنا حالتنا حالة، حتى هنا الأشكال ذي طبعا مو مفاد، ما أعرف، بغض النظر حقي. طبعا في ناس محترمين وطيبين، بس الله يمسخكم إذا بتحذفون المقطع بهذا الأسباب. اتركها رجاء. أنا قاعد مشرد. I'm searching for some job, work, 15, 20 pound, anything. That's why I'm here. Of course, there is this church, to be honest with you, and these centers, they are just more than wonderful and lovely and generous and nice and polite, starting from the white, among them so-called Christian, or the atheist gays. Today I met a gay in a church. He was very helpful with me. I'm saying the truth, I'm not lying. Now this is another story. The wind is in this voices, do you hear it? And I'm already طيب, I'm waiting for this gentleman, he didn't come yet. Let's return back, let me continue. It's good to talk. Don't delete the video, please, it's part of my therapy. And I'm saying the truth. The whole world needs to understand this. I'm not mentioning his name. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I was gonna... There is a big wall. It's better for me from the air. But there is a lot of cars and a lot of those... Little bit rough, this area there. But I'm already... Anyway. Where was I? ذكريات بشعة my mind. This is a psychological issue. My mind. بسم الله علي. بسم الله علي. بسم الله علي. So this person do not understand. Do not understand how there was for some Africans, some Roman, who used to call themselves, we are the Yehudi and we worship him, Yahweh. Yahweh, the God of Israelite. This is our God, not the cross, not the Taghut, not the fire, we choose this. You understand me? This is the ancestor of those people, Gohams, who are causing troubles, Matrasha, in the Holy Land, okay? And bringing curse on themselves into the whole world. Not like the so-called anti-Zionist Jews. The anti-Zionist Jews, they might bring some anger. They are bringing anger. They are not accepting the Son of Virgin Mary as the Messiah. It's their right. Islam is so tolerant to the level that they have the right to believe this way. They want to build a synagogue and worship based on the rules. So the anti-Zionists, if they bring wrath, they bring it a questionary and wrath at the judgment day on themselves. Anti-Zionist Jew, the so-called, they don't have anything to do with establishing a so-called Israeli state or in imposing unacceptable thing in the name of Allah. Okay? This become the devil. The devil right now is working. So someone would say, among maybe the so-called anti-Zionists, why you are saying this to us? We're bringing people now. We're gonna use it. No, Habibi. The so-called Christians are bringing their own the darkness to the whole world, and the so-called Hindus and the so-called Buddhists and the so-called Shiite. Each of those groups are bringing ما يهمني أحسن خليه يموت أحسن بس دقيقة. They are worse, far worse. If you are bad, they are far bad, and if you're good, the so-called anti-Zionist Jew, they are bad. So I am not anti-you. No, I respect you, and I'm saying good things, that you are good people. You know the facts, and they know that there is contradiction. They know that there is an issue in the Torah. There is a big issue. I'm not here like those jokes who say Quran contradicts itself. No. Because they're angry from Islam. I'm saying the truth. Torah contradicts itself in way of you dealing with it and trying to work it. But it's your right to the level that you are not imposing any darkness to this world. So if you're bringing in a wrath, you're bringing it to yourself because you're not accepting the ways of Islam perfectly. But I respect you. This is Allah instruct me to respect you as a human being. The anti-Zionist Jew, I respect him, and I love you as a human being, and I respect your privacy, definitely, totally, yes. You put this hat, you're Ashkenazi, you're whatever, Gypsies or whatever, from home, whatever. I don't want to mention anything bad when I talk about the so-called anti-Zionists. Goham, yes, you are Goham. Your hats, your clothes, it's your right. Definitely, in Islam, there's nothing. The way your hair, this is forbidden. The hair like this. Not the hat. The hat, I don't know about the case of hair other issue. No, the hat is something. But the hair, there is a warning. No, don't do this. Don't cut some part and leave some part. It's illegal. At the time of Moses, he was explaining this. Daniel, Solomon, no. The Israelites never do this. Their hair is known, like exactly the Islamic law. حف الشوارب, إطالة اللحى, all of these laws. Now, but you go to this person, he's bringing the wrath of God to humanity. He's helping, and the so-called Christian is calling are ignorant enough like him or more. So he doesn't understand. He thinks that God, these Arabs, now they are working the way of Ishmael because Muhammad is descended from Ishmael. No, God have favored Israelis. He preferred them. First of all, you got nothing to do with the Israeli race. I'm trying to explain to you. You got nothing to do with the Israeli race. Why? You have a problem with understanding why God have sent Muhammad in the Arabic language. The Hebrew now is not similar to the Hebrew before 2,000 years. For God's sake, Arabic have changed within the 14th century, though there is a Quran. It's the same verses. No one touch it. Don't believe the so-called Shiite. Based on Muhammad instruction, which is from God about the Quran. I mean, الترتيب, the serial, the order of Quran. Now, and this is not the topic. What I say is the truth. So he think that all of those Arab are Ishmaelians, and they are questioning the Israelis, and they are saying that Israelis, no, God preferred now Ishmael. No, you are so stupid. God did not prefer Israelis because he loved them and he playing with them in the kingdom garden. we do it with the children. No, he put them for a responsibility, and he took Ishmael and he put him in Mecca for something. It might have something to do with the DNA until Muhammad. And I'm trying to explain about certain levels, rules, no, regardless, until Muhammad. For the ground of excuse, because God is this word is enough. He is the great engineer of existence, this universe. It comes with human, other things. He have everything in his order. In order, everything is controlled by him, and he can interfere. But he have some law. He have something. Abraham have a reason to be sent as a messenger. Then Israelis. Do you understand me? I think I'm not good in explaining. I'm not doing. Even those smarter than me, with more knowledge than me, wouldn't understand exactly what I'm trying to say. Because I'm not good in. I don't know how to explain it. But he think that Arabs and Muslims think that now. No, he doesn't understand the Quran. The Quran is talking about the Israelite, talking about Moses, talking about Solomon, the confirmed hadith. He doesn't want to see this. He want to lie, and people are laughing. And they think that they are Israelis, though they are not. Do you see the crime? Do you see the darkness? Do you see the sin? Do you see it by the so-called Zionist movement and the so-called Christians and those who insist calling themselves Jews and the so-called Israelis and the so-called Israeli establishment? This comes with what was after Henzl, before Henzl. This comes with Sykes-Picot colonizing. They can colonize other countries. The West can come and colonize other country and say, I want the food. And then colonizing finished. No, but they colonized and still they relate themselves to the way that is lost, to the lost thing, the way, the path of that represent lost, dalal. And among them, a group, the so-called Christian, the Crusader, and the West at the time of colonization. And some of them among them are relating themselves to the path that will bring the wrath of God Almighty. So when they deal with Middle East, they have a problem with Islam. The so-called Hindus, so-called Buddhists might have some problem with Islam. But they are so-called Christian and so-called Jews. Their problem with Islam is different. Their problem is Islam is that they have the right to be here in Holy Land. Of course, God gave the Jews the Holy Land. Understand me? They are not like the so-called Hindus. I don't give a fuck about your Holy Land. I just want to worship cow here in New Delhi or Bombay. Fuck off. Islam I don't like. So you understand? If India colonized Middle East and was kicked out, they wouldn't. The so-called Buddhists who lost all of their power in China because some of them were very terrible criminals, okay? When it comes to children. Do you understand this point? This is important. I know that there is a wind. I have no place to upload videos. If the Chinese would come, colonizing Holy Land. You understand me? They wouldn't leave and establish something and put in mind we want to divide them. They might divide and conquer, but there will be a Palestine. There will be a Palestine, and they will do their best, if not the West or Gog and Magog. They will leave the states. They will divide it, Palestine, Jordan, and at the same time try to impose secularism. And the Jerusalem, Holy Land, the sacred grove, there will be a Masjid al-Aqsa. But please, Tahid al-Islam. Allah yaj'alhum muhayyadin bil-'adhab al-'azim. Leave Islam away from governments. Please don't read this video. They will do this. Do you understand my point? I am homeless. I have no shelter. There is sometimes I go under, but I have no accommodation, no benefit. So please don't make my life worse on YouTube. Don't make my life worse. And I have a bad experience even before I come here right now. So don't try to be human. And it's not like millions are watching my video. You see, you look at the IBAN and things like the address and things like that. You understand that no one is watching. But I'm saying the truth. Do you understand my point? This is the problem with the so-called Christianity. Hellfire, the oven bath, the bath to hell, worshipping the Antichrist, the pig of earth, by the figure of shit. Because it's like the ass, shit, the cross. This is you. Don't be angry with it. This is the facts and this is the truth about you. or the start of the devil, the start of dimension, start of magic, which got nothing to do with Solomon or David, peace be upon him, okay? The Jewish, the so-called Jewish, bringing wrath, the filth of Judea, of the so-called Judea. Judea! And he's putting the other, there is another channel of a white so-called Israeli, watching the flag, and he's saying, Judea, the land of Judah. What the fuck you're doing, you motherfucker? طيب انا اخلص. لما انا قلت سمعت الدباب قبل شوي رن 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 عمل ازعاج، انا كنت اتعذب بسببهم في الشرقيه، لاننا كنا مضطرين نستاجر بحاجه رخيصه، وكانت المنطقه فيها يعني يعني الناس، اقول الدبابات براعين يلعبون، يقول لك انهم فقاره وانهم طبقه مدري كيف طبقه، وكلهم بالدبابات يلعبون، وانا والله لا السيارات اجار، حتى ما عندنا سياره. هذا البلاء المبين والبلاء العظيم، الله يجعل على الأعداء يوم أنه يتلذذ الإنسان بتعذيب إنسان آخر، فالله يسلط عليكم عذاب بحيث تبصرون ولا تبصرون إلى العالمين. What I said, please don't delete this video. So when I watch these videos, would they, the so-called Israelis, just be smart enough and not, يعني, what do they feel? Do they feel okay about themselves? Absolutely, we feel okay about themselves. Go ahead. Problem. It's a terrible problem. It's a terrible problem. It's a terrible problem. Delete the video. How are you gonna delete the video? I think he's not gonna come. Okay. I'm gonna check the time. I had no appointment. Normally he come here and I ask him about the job. So he didn't give me a promise and not come. No, it's locked down right now. I'm gonna go. Yeah, the وقت طويل أكثر عن almost 1 hour. I'm waiting. 1 hour and a half. It's like stores here, place. All stores and things like that. Anyway, don't delete the video. Don't delete the video. There's another shop I want to ask. Good day, sir. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you very much.